Hello, and welcome to Communications 2025 for the summer semester. I'm Sammy Mowry, I'll be your instructor, and I decided to put this little video together to set you up for success in this class. First, a little bit about me. You won't ever see me on campus. I am officially retired from Rome State. I've just come back during pandemic times to add a little bit of heft to the classes that are being offered to you. Right now, I'm coming almost live from Florida, where I retired to. I live in Orlando. I work at Disney World. So there's certain days of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. During the day, you won't hear from me. At night, when I'm home from Disney, you'll hear from me. Those are the only days that I'll have that kind of time. But Rome State has been part of my life since I was 18. I was in the first graduating class at Rome State. So, keeping my finger in Rome State's little pie is kind of fun for me. So let's talk about the class. Now, in this class, you will need a book. It's Public Speaking for College and Career by Hamilton Gregory. All of the information about that book is in your syllabus. But it's the 11th edition that's listed there. If you can find the 10th edition for a lesser price, get it. If you can get it, you don't need a code. You don't need access to anything but momentum, where you are, for this and YouTube. So you don't need to, you need a book. If you get a hard copy, if you get an electronic copy, if you get the 10th edition or the 11th edition, it doesn't matter. Do what's best for your pocketbook. But you will need a book, and I promise you are supposed to read every page in that book as outlined in your syllabus. So be sure your book is important. You can't take your quizzes without it. Can't do some of your discussions without it. So you need to do that. Now let's talk about momentum for just a little bit. Where I am, where you see me, is the news section. Up above me, you're going to see some tabs. The first tab you're going to see is course materials. And if you click on that, it drops down. The only thing you have to worry about there is content. If you click on content, it's going to pull up 3 documents. The first document will be your syllabus. The second document will be speech expectations, what I expect out of you in the speeches that you turn in to me. And it's things that I've seen people do wrong over and over and over again that we just shouldn't do. You don't wear a hat. You don't sit down. It's all in there. I don't have to sit here and tell you. You can read. But be sure you watch that. And I'd say you can't sit down. If there's a physical reason you cannot stand up to speak, let me know. We'll work that out. Other than that, I want you standing. I have had people turn in their speeches laying on their bed. I don't want to see that. I want you standing up and talking to me. All right, after content, we're going to go to communication. There's a couple of places there you'll need. You'll need the class list, and then you'll need discussions. Now, under the class list, if you click that, that's going to give you a list of everybody in this class. And if you need to email them, you can click on their name in there, and a window will pop up, and you can email them. If you need to email me and have any questions ever, and want to email me, go to that class list, click on my name, and it should, a window with email ready should pop up, and you can email me there. I want you to email me whenever you have questions, but I want you to email me through Momentum. You have Momentum email, and you have Outlook email, which is in RadarNet. Please don't use the RadarNet. Use Momentum for class issues. It keeps everything together for me, and I can search and find and look up our history of what we've talked about if there's anything going on. But under communication, you'll find that. And the discussions, that discussion board is where you will do your 5 discussion board assignments. So you want to be able to find that and be able to get into the discussion board. The only other tab up there that you're going to need is assessments, and that's exactly what it says. In there, you'll see Dropbox, you'll see grades, and you'll see quizzes. You will take 8 quizzes during this 8-week period. You will use the Dropbox in the last 2 weeks only, and you can go to grades and see your grades that you have on your work, and you can see some comments that I have given you, if there are any. So those are the things that you need to be able to find in Momentum. Now, let's talk about your types of assignments. I've already said you have 5 discussions. In the 5 discussions, you're going to do different things. The first week, you're going to talk about your fears, your anxieties about being in speech class. You're going to find out that everybody kind of feels the same. There's not one of you that got up this morning and went, yes, I'm going to go to speech class today, and I'm going to make YouTube videos, and I'm going to let everybody watch them. That makes the stomach a little tumbly-rumbly. It's okay. It's all right. It's normal and natural to be a little anxious. Just don't let it control your life. All right, so you'll have 5 discussion boards. That means that all of the 8 weeks that we have in this class, you will not have a discussion board. So if there's nothing listed there, it's all good. You have 8 quizzes. You will not take 1 quiz a week. There's a couple of weeks you're going to take 2 quizzes, because I've broken the readings down into little smaller bits. And you'll read 3 or 4 chapters and take a quiz. Read 3 or 4 chapters and take a quiz. The quizzes, use your book. Use your book if you need to. Use the index to look up your answers if you need to. Don't make me tell you the answers. But you have 2 hours to take a quiz. You have plenty of time. And there's 25 multiple guess questions. You have your book you may use, and you have 3, count them, 1, 2, 3 attempts. If you take that test 3 times and make 90 the first time, 80 the second time, and 85 the third time, the high grade, the 90, will count. So don't worry about going down. If it goes down, it goes away. But 3 times, unless you make 100, take the test again. All your grades will count. Now, you have 5 discussion boards, you have 8 quizzes, and you're going to have 5 speeches. The first one is simply an introduction of yourself to the class. I've given you a little video in there to kind of get you moving and let you think what you're going to do and what you're going to say to people. One of the things I tell you in Speech Expectations is I never want you to stand up in front of the class and go, hi, I'm Sammy Maury, and today I'm going to tell you about me. And today I'm going to do exactly what the teacher told me to do, and that is to do this. Don't do that. Start talking to me. Just start talking to me about the topic. You don't have to tell us who you are. You don't have to do all that. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. Or, I was born in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains in East Tennessee. You can do that. It's going to be fun. But the first one is an introduction. The second one is more of an informative kind of speech. The third one, which you'll do in like the 3rd or 4th week, which is one of my favorites, is a decade speech. You're going to talk about some things during a particular decade in history. You will have a speech then that's kind of an occasion speech where you'll do an introduction of somebody, you'll do a toast, you'll accept an award, all these things that you can do. You have things to choose from. And your last one will be a persuasive speech. So I will give you hints and things and helps how to do that. Now listen carefully. All assignments must be done to pass this class. You can't look at say, oh, all right, let's see, there's 18 assignments. I'm only going to do enough to get a C. No, you have to do them all or you don't pass. They all build on each other and need to be done in a row. All right? We have worked on these classes for years in speech and we kind of have it down. It's all good. You have in your hand, if you get your syllabus and print it like I asked you to, you have every assignment and every due date for the entire 8-week semester. So you know now what you have to do and what date you have to do it by. So no excuses. Every week I will post in the news items where you found this video. I will post your assignments there also. But you have them right now in your hand. And when you opened this up, you saw my video. You didn't see a link that you had to go click on to get to me. And this, the way this appears in the news item is how I want your video to appear in the thread when you turn it into me. Now to do that, there's a video below me that shows you very quickly how to do it. You put this stuff, like I'm in YouTube app right now. My iPad is up here. I'm recording. As soon as I get through recording, it will process it. This takes some time, folks. If you have an assignment due at 11 p.m. on a Sunday and you start trying to video at 10 p.m., you're going to be late. It takes some time. You got to have some time to get things rolling. You're going to have some time because the doorbell's going to ring. Somebody's going to walk through the room. The dogs are going to bark. Kids are going to cry. Things are going to happen. So give yourself time. Do not wait till the last day. Now we're going to talk about some of my rules, and that's one of the reasons last day is important. All right, here's my rules, my guidelines, the things that make me crazy. Number one is attendance. Because of federal laws, I have to record your attendance with the college. So you have to record your attendance with me. If you will read the attendance section in your syllabus, I'm not reading it to you, you will find out how to do that. If you do not do as I ask, and I have directed you to do, I will turn you in as non-attending to the financial aid office, and you're not going to get your money. And I don't want that to happen. You don't want that to happen. So work with me. Late work I do not like. You have deadlines. 10 points a day off every day you're late. Now, I'm not just a heartless old woman, but there can be some wiggle room if I hear from you beforehand. Don't be gone from this class for 2 weeks and come back and say, I'm back, I'm going to finish up my class now. No, you're not. Talk to me before. If you have an emergency, you have a death in your family, you send me an email then. Now, that's not too much to ask. If you had a job, which I hope you do, if you have a job and you've got to be out of town for a week, you're going to tell that job. Well, this is a job. And so I expect you to tell me if you're not going to be in class. And I expect you to do your work before you leave for your vacation. That way you're not behind. I know I've taught this class a lot of years, taught it online a lot of years. I taught the very first online class for Rome State in speech. And people say, I'm going on vacation, got a cruise. When I get back, I'm going to get everything caught up. It doesn't happen. It never happens. So do it before you go. Get your vacation in done before you go. Don't disappear, all right? Don't disappear and show up and think, I've got 5 days to finish this class. I'm going to do it all in 5 days, Miss Mallory. No, you're not. No. Work through. You've got to become a better speaker, and the only way to become a better speaker is to work on it and build on what you do. Now, like I've said before, contact me by email. You can find me by email. I read my email just as much as I can. I probably won't read it when I'm over at the Animal Kingdom, because I work in the Animal Kingdom at Disney. Because they don't like us having our cell phones out. That's not real, Disney look, people walking around with their cell phone in their hand. But I will read as soon as I get home. I will get back to you within 12 hours of you sending me an email, most of the time much quicker than that. Remember, if you have a vacation, work ahead, not behind. So, you need a book. You need to get it this week. If you go to the Harriman bookstore, or to the Rome State bookstore, go to Harriman to get your book. They generally don't have it in Oak Ridge. Nothing wrong with the Oak Ridge bookstore. Nice people. But they have the book physically in Harriman. Find somebody that took the class last semester. Get the book from them. Don't go out and buy a brand spanking new 11th edition of this book because there's a 12th edition coming out. Find you a used one somewhere. Momentum, remember, course materials, you're going to find your syllabus, you're going to read that thing. It's not a fun document, but you need to know what's in it. Because that's the rules, and that's my contract with you of how I'm going to treat your grade. Communications, you got your class list, you have your discussion boards there, assessments, that's where you're going to find your quizzes, your Dropbox, and your grades. Please remember, you have 3 types of assignments. You don't have 3 types of assignments every week. Don't look for that. Go mark your attendance as you read your syllabus and find out how. Don't be turning in late work. That's about it, folks. You're going to be fine. I know you're a little worried about this. Everybody is at first, and by the second, third video, they're going, this is nothing. So let's have a great semester. I'm doing this in my living room. I don't expect you to have lots of bells and whistles with yours. I mean, you see me stopping and poking. And so just get us a good video. Be sure you speak up where I can hear you. Have a good one. If you need something, let me know.